Leaders hold a position of power or authority, but those who lead inspire us.
Quite simply, trait theory maintains that certain individuals are naturally endowed with certain character traits that lend themselves to leadership. In the earliest stages of the theory, the consideration of trait was encompassed by physical characteristics such as height, appearance, gender, and ethnicity. Trait theory grew out of Thomas Carlyle's great man historical construct. In terms of leadership, this came to be known as the great man theory. Galton, 1869, called leadership inherited, and Woods, 1913, said the leader should be gifted with tremendous energy, dauntless courage, and an intellectual fervor, at once vigorous and sane. Trait theory has the longest legacy of any contemporary leadership theory. It has strengths as well as weaknesses. The background of the theory provides a context. The practical application of the theory demonstrates its utility in the organizational setting. Finally, a synthesis of these alongside future directions of the theory forms a composite understanding. Consideration of the importance of the traits of effective leaders can be found in ancient texts. Great minds from history have expounded upon traits that they felt would best serve their leaders based on the unique socio-cultural factors of their eras. Many scholars sought to evaluate the impact of personal traits on leadership, focusing on physical attributes. Leaders were described as more intelligent, more extroverted, more dominant, more masculine, and taller than non-leaders. Trait theory fell out of favor in 1948 with the work of Ralph Stogdill. He validated that there was a correlation between personal characteristics and leadership, but he broke ground with his discovery of the importance of situational factors, which he felt should be considered alongside a constellation of favorable characteristics. It was difficult to demonstrate any correlation between phenotypic traits and leadership abilities. Yet in shifting the definition of traits to characteristics that emerge in behaviors, a broader application could be applied. This was accomplished by psychologist Gordon Allport. Building on the work of Allport, Lord de Vader and Alliger, 1986, ushered in a new era of trait theory. They demonstrated that, in fact, personality traits were of critical importance in successful leadership. Yet they were resolute in suggesting that these were only perceptual. They could not be correlated with improved performance. They were not causal. Contemporary trait theorists seek more robust models of analysis, which include self-evaluation of traits, other people's perception of the traits that you exhibit, and situational factors within which certain constellations of traits may prove favorable.
So exactly how does this work? Well, contemporary trait approach considers first what a good leader looks like for their organization, and then associates traits to create a strong leader profile that is appropriate for their organization. Then the organization uses an instrument, and by the way, there are many instruments out there to assess against that profile. With a leader trait instrument, you can do things like hire, promote, move into new roles, or provide professional development to improve a leader's capabilities based on a leader profile. In fact, in our class, you'll even have a chance to complete a leader trait instrument for your own discovery. One strength is that trait theory originated in the 20th century, so it has over 100 years of research-backed credibility supporting it. Another strength is that it focuses on the leader. Now, this might seem like a centric approach. It does allow for research to look deeper into characteristics. Traits also help distinguish the differences between a leader and a follower, and traits do provide a starting point to create a leader norm for the organization that could be compared against other leaders with a goal or an intent to improve upon those leadership traits. Findings in research are a bit murky at times. There are hundreds of identifiable leader traits, and because of that, it's difficult to identify what traits may be accurate. And just because a leader may be strong in one situation doesn't mean that leader will be strong in other situations. So where and when do certain leader traits apply? Since there's plenty of research, authors often weigh in on the importance of certain traits over others. And when we are investigating something that is goal-oriented for an organization, how do we ascertain that certain leader traits will achieve those organizational goals? There may be a gap in research in this area. Applying trait theory to your organization may help you assess how your organization is positioned from a leadership effectiveness perspective. Using trait theory may be a good approach when attempting to address a gap in your leadership team's overall effectiveness, and then focus on developing specific traits that will increase leader bench strength.
Zaccaro, Kemp, and Bader, 2004, explain in their model of interrelated distal and proximal attributes that each set of predictors operates jointly with other predictors to influence particular outcomes. That is, each set is defined as being necessary, but not sufficient for the prediction of targeted criteria. Northouse concludes that despite its shortcomings, the trait approach provides valuable information about leadership. It can be applied by individuals at all levels and in all types of organizations. Indeed, it is not a perfect theory, yet it does have a value in the contemporary organization.